Hello, beautiful light beings. Shannon O'Flaherty here. It's September 13th, and it's the best day in the universe for me because 27 years ago, early this morning, I was giving birth for the first time to my lovely son, Forrest, who hopefully you'll meet later on tonight. And I'm just so joyous because he's so wonderful and he makes me happy all the time. So does my second son, Rome. He's off to travel the world on Sunday, so he's starting his next life adventure. And it brings me to the subject that I'm talking about this evening, is being in the bow wave. So what that means is that when we sign up for something, even before the thing has actually happened yet, all of our stuff starts to stir up. We start to get freaked out by every little thing. We start to have issues that we weren't having before. Problems arise that suddenly we don't quite know how to deal with. And part of us thinks, I can't do this, I can't do this. I used to, before going to shaman school many years ago, I'd be sitting at the airport, at Leeds Airport, early in the morning, crying my eyes out on the phone with a girlfriend saying, I'm not coming, I'm not coming. And she'd say, yes, you are. Of course you're coming. Of course you're coming. You're just freaking out because you know that nothing is ever going to be the same again. And that's what's happening. Because the minute that we say yes to ourselves, to one degree or another, the energy around us starts to shift. The universe hears us, and the universe says, right, okay, all of these external situations are happening and developing so that we can do our internal work, so that it can illuminate us to our deepest selves and let us see what needs to change. I've taught classes for many years, I still do, and before people, they'd sign up for the class, very excited, oh yay, I'm going to be learning all about healing and I can't wait, it's going to be great. And then, funny, but a week before class, something would come up, or a few days before class, something would come up. Always external things, nothing that they had any control over. Or the day of the class, they'd get sick, or suddenly they'd have a migraine, or I don't know, they'd miss the train, or be late, at the very least, be late. And there's always a high dropout rate. When people sign up for something, then they're in the bow wave and everything outside of their control happens. But it's not outside of your control, because what's happening is that you're freaking out because deep down inside, you're coming to a point of resistance. And our resistance almost always breaks down to fear. Fear of, you name it. Us humans, we don't like change very much. So I don't really think it's just the fear of change. It's about the fear of not being the same anymore. It's the fear of the unknown. There's really only like 5 core emotions: fear, anger, sadness, joy, and love. And so all of the other emotions either chunk down or chunk up to those. And because our comfort zone is just that, a comfort zone, and even if our comfort zone isn't great for us, that's what we know. That's where energetically we're happy to be. And so even though intellectually and maybe even emotionally we think, oh God, yes, I've got to change, I've got to do this. And so we sign up for something, our energy starts to resist. So the question is this: how would you like your ride to be? Would you like to have a smooth, flowing ride forward while you start to do your spiritual healing work? Or would you like to be met with resistance all the way? I've done it both ways. And you know what? Flowing with it and going with the flow and trusting the process and knowing that it's not always comfortable is actually a much easier ride than putting up resistance all the time. My best friend always used to say, because I also took groups on trips to Peru, which I'm also starting those again. And before these trips, which I was thrilled about, I love going to Peru. It's my spiritual home. It's the kind of Incan shamanism that I study and practice. And I would organize these trips and be very excited about it and couldn't wait to go. But I'd be freaking out all over the place, like in the run up to the trip. And she always just said, "What is your deal? You want to do this. You're just a big drama queen," which was probably true. Until then, she decided to come to Ecuador with me. I got her on a yes day. She's not one for traveling halfway across the world, but I got her on a good moment and she said yes. And guess what happened? She started to freak out and she got to Ecuador and she said, okay, I get it. I wanted to go. It was going to be fun, but then it's like a big freak out. That's why sometimes it's better to just be spontaneous and jump in, because if you dip your foot in the cold water, you're going to feel how freezing cold it is. And then you're going to project all of that. Oh gosh, but it's going to be shocking to the system. And I don't know if I'm going to handle it. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And then you inch in little by little by little by little by little. Instead of if you just jump in, then it's like, oh, but then you acclimate pretty quickly. And then it's invigorating and you're having fun and laughing and splashing about, while the person on the sidelines is still just dipping their toe in, going, oh, I don't know. It's kind of like that with life. And that's what the bow wave is like. So I want you to think about what you want. You're in this group, you're searching for answers, you're wanting to change, you're wanting to discover your truth, your inner purpose, your path in life. But what are you doing about it? You know, I think I just saw a wonderful post today, and it said something like, oh yes, it was a picture of somebody sitting on a railroad track, and it said, even if you're on the right track, if you don't get moving, you're going to get run over. And I thought, well, yeah, that's really true, because we find the right track and then we get paralyzed with fear of being our authentic selves, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of everything changing all around us. It's just projection. We don't know. But what the universe does know is that when you start to step into your alignment and your perfect self-expression, everything starts to line up and life gets more beautiful, more opportunities come to you, your relationships get better, your abundance level gets better, your happiness level gets better, everything gets better. The process might not be comfortable all along the way, because change takes a certain amount of guts. So when they talk about these warrior women, step into your warrior woman, it's not about a fight. It's not about the big fight out there. It's about protecting your inner treasure. It's about protecting your inner bright light so that you can shine to your highest and best ability. So don't let fear shoot you in the foot before you even open the door. That's not going to serve you in any way. Take the leap of faith, because later, When you're in alignment, you really will have the leap of faith, the big leap when you're over the abyss and you have to trust that your wings are going to carry you. And that's when things get really exciting, because you're right there flying high and going with the flow, whilst being behind a veil of clouds, not being able to see what comes next, but you're still joyous because you know in your deepest soul that everything is going to work out beautifully. Now, you don't go from all the way down here to suddenly joyous and happy. It's baby steps along the way. And I've taken all the baby steps and I've done all the drama. There's probably a million more baby steps for me to take to get to the level that I really want to be at. But I tell you, each level is better than the last. And I've never, ever regretted taking the step. I've never, ever regretted going on the course, deciding to dive in deep and figure out what it was that I needed to heal. I think healing is so freaking exciting. I just love it. I have such a great coach, and she says it like it is. I love it because she meets me where I'm at, just like I will do with you when you work with me. I'm not going to tell you just stuff that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you things that I see. I'm going to say it as I see it. And she does that for me, and she holds me accountable to my truth, to my deepest inner knowing. And yeah, sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes to release a huge piece that's stuck in me, it's quite emotional. But then it's just like, wow, oh, thank you. That's so awesome. I'm not holding on to that anymore. Now I can be free, and now I can fly even higher. And when you're healing your own stuff, you're not just healing for you. You're healing for your entire ancestral line. We're healing for all of humanity. We're giving up control so that we can surrender and allow space for source energy to come in. And the more people that can do that, the faster and higher we can raise the vibration and consciousness of the planet. It's really what it comes down to. It really is. I want to build that orphanage in Peru. I have a big purpose. I want you guys to help me do it. I want to take groups to Peru. I want to show you another way of living. I want to show people how to be connected in their center, in alignment, connected to the earth, one with our beautiful Pachamama, how it is to serve others and help others while you're also enjoying your own passions and helping yourself. There's so many amazing opportunities that are right out there for all of us. There's all these opportunities right out here that I don't even know about yet because they haven't come into my sphere of energy. And I know this from life experience because looking back, when I look back on the path that I've had and seeing where I was, and I thought, God, if I would have known what was coming from those choices. Like when I left my husband and moved to Spain, okay, I was barely fluent. I could barely speak Spanish at all then. I had learned it when I was a child, but then I didn't use it, so I lost it. And then by the time I left Spain and came back to England to co-parent with him again, I was fluent in Spanish again. And then guess what? The next thing was, it was evolving my business to take groups to Peru. And at that time, I really could not have done that without being fluent in the language. And had I seen the higher reason for part of all of those choices, of course, it would have made things much easier. But maybe those were just possible outcomes. And because I took the leap of faith and went with the flow, even though it was difficult, more opportunities arise. Opportunities arise when you get out there and face your bow wave of fear and take the step and take the leap and do what you know you need to do from the depths of your soul. Be excited because healing is awesome. You want to have an awesome time and figure out how you tick and why you do, and heal your relationships and heal your abundance issues and heal your confusion. Private message me. Let's work. The time is now. I love you all. See you in the next video.